Hey, welcome back. Everyone says this. Just be yourself. People will love who you are. Well, I ran into this problem for most of my life. I couldn't find myself because I think who I was really different from who I wanted to be. And who I wanted to be is what I believed other people wanted me to be, what society told me I should be, what would make me the ideal person. Well, frankly, the ideal person for me to be is me. I know I'm going in a circle, but this is really important for you to understand because just be yourself and you'll be happy. I say that to people, but that doesn't really carry any weight. When I didn't know who I was, I couldn't find myself. So, really, the question becomes how do I find myself? I was on a podcast with Steve Harper this morning, and that question came up. And my answer to it, because this is really what I do a lot of, this is the foundation. When I was working with Dr. Jeffrey Martin, he would call this fundamental well being. Now, for a person in depression or a person with anxiety, when you're suffering, it's kind of hard to get that baseline of being able to maintain a general positive well being, even when the storm hits. So, fundamental well being, or getting to know yourself, because after you get to know yourself, then you get to love yourself. After you get to love yourself, you're truly living as yourself, and that love overflows into abundance, into relationships, into connection, into joy, into fulfillment, into purpose. But it all comes back to knowing yourself. And why is it so important? Because when I got out of college, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. So I did well on the LSAT. I went to law school. Thankfully, I was smart enough to be like, I hate law school. Nothing against anyone that decided to pursue it. But for me, it would have become the wrong career choice. And so I knew in my heart, I knew in my bones, I did not like doing it. Um, I've made other decisions that I've stuck with that I didn't like either. And what ends up happening is I'm lying to myself. I'm not holding my own truth. I'm not speaking my truth. And I'm not living my truth. Even now, I'm working on it. It is an ongoing, lifelong process because the courage, the faith, and the will, as well as the guidance, comes from letting go of what I've been told to do or what the safe path is and becoming who I truly am and following my heart, creating life in this moment because it's only this moment, and living fully. Now, I still didn't answer your question. I'm really sorry. How do I find myself? The way that usually the process happens is through pain. I was on an amazing call earlier with some women who were absolutely remarkable, and they had all gone through their own journeys. One of them had overcome cancer, and through that, really shed so many false beliefs, so many toxic lifestyle habits. It made her so much more centered, and she went into healing people because she discovered so much about herself, her world, her health, her body, and her relationship to it. It comes back to my mental state affects my physical state, affects my mental state. These are all loops. Spiritual state, faith, trust, love, all of that shows up in the physical. And the physical reflects in the world and in the body. All right, fine, I went off base. So, how do we know? If I feel pain, discomfort, or otherwise not well with my body, that's frequently a signal that I have to look at what I'm holding. One of my stories that I share is I decided to work with a man who I will call Man Bun because he had real man bun energy even though he had a shaved head. And I signed on and I gave a significant deposit to the program and I owed an even bigger sum of money. Now, when I started working with him, I realized this is not a good fit. I don't care for his ethics. I don't care for how they work. They're not responsive. And they're, frankly, in my opinion, not authentic. So that's someone that's not going to work for me and not reflective of who I am. I got on a call with Man Bun and he said, Hey, How about we clean slate this? Because I said, this isn't working out so well, right? How about we clean slate this? I betrayed myself and I said, okay. And we continued talking, went through what the problem was. He would not take ownership, accountability, or even come up with a solution that was appropriate. Again, the ethical problem, because I know how I would handle it. My entire practice is based on giving more value than I take, providing more than even a person would expect to receive. That's why I study what I do. I work the way I do, because I always want to have a person walking away being like, that was worth 10 times what I paid. So, man bun. I walk into this call and I had killer pain in the back of my neck, causing headaches and all this stuff. And as you know, this is before I developed rapid release, but it doesn't matter because I could have done acupuncture. I probably put CBD cream on. I probably did movement. It was not going away. As soon as I told Man Bun, take a hike, this isn't working out, because I did that at the end of the call. As soon as I did that, pain was gone, never came back. My body was not comfortable holding that inauthentic presence of having him in my life. I had to walk away from a significant deposit. We ended up deciding I don't owe any money because he claimed he gave me some value, so he kept the deposit. The only value he gave me was an important lesson to really be more scrupulous with who I choose to engage with. So that's a lesson on me learning myself. Me learning that I made a decision out of haste. He used the tactic of scarcity and urgency. And I was like, oh, I better do this now because this is a really important thing to get done. It wasn't because it was authentic to me. It was because I was afraid of losing an opportunity. So it was not guidance, it was fear. So I learned how to discern in certain instances when I'm making a decision from haste. I probably still have a little way to go with that. Anyhow, I got to learn a little bit more about who I was. I can tell you, red flags, you can stop all of this. That negative self-talk, gone. When you find yourself doing it, understand it is a bad habit. So when those thoughts are calling you names, that's a bad habit that you did to keep yourself small. You're only hurting yourself. You are not protecting anyone. You are not helping yourself. You're only causing yourself pain. You're pushing away who you really are because you're not fitting the mold that you were told to fit into. Well, guess what? If you are a round peg fitting into a square hole, you're never going to fit. So stop trying. You're only going to hurt yourself and those around you because you're pulling away from your God-given gifts, from your authenticity, from your joy, from your love, and from your presence. You're literally hurting yourself and your life. So how do you know who you are? Follow your dreams. Literally, when you're sleeping, who are you in your dreams? That's part of who you are. What do you want to be in life if there were no limits? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? If you had unlimited backing, who would you be? That's close to who you are. Start dreaming that. Start feeling it in your body. I was in a meditation recently and I am abundant, okay? Started going through mantras just for kicks. What I realized is I could say I am abundant. That's coming from here and here. Or I could say I am abundant. I can send the vibration all the way to my feet. I can feel the full effect of that mantra, of that statement in my entire being. I can set the vibration. So start practicing whatever it is you want to be because that's what you are. That's how you find yourself. If you want to be, an actor, I am an actor. I am a sought after actor. Kind of like what Jim Carrey did with writing himself the check. Make it real. Own it. Be it. Because that's who you are. There's no mistake. There's no pretending. That's the only truth you have. In your relationships, I am a present parent. That's it. Really own it. Know what a present parent does, because frankly, you could say you're a good parent. That's a little bit out. But I'm a present parent. You are there for your child. You are responsive, not reactive. How amazing is that? You really connect. You are providing the best experience for growth for your child. You're also providing the best model by being present, by being authentic, by being whole. I am a present partner. I am a loving partner. I have an open heart. Whatever it is, find that first step that you want to take. I am present in my body. And when you say it from your head to your feet. Feel the vibration of the words. Make it authentic. Because if you just say, I'm present, you're not doing anything. You're not present. You're pretending. And not even good pretending. You're fake pretending. You're checking a box. You will never go anywhere by checking a box. You go somewhere by setting who you are and acting upon that, and the world gives back. That's how it's always happened, and that's how it will continue to happen. So, I hope this helps. And like I was telling Steve, be kind, be altruistic, be open, be authentic, be vulnerable, be loving. And Steve was telling me exactly back. We were going through stories of this because that's the human experience. We are here to have the human experience. We have the human experience by being ourselves. And I know there's not enough people telling you how to be yourself. Oh, last super important point. Yeah, I'm really, really good logical analytical. That's how I ended up in law school. That's also how I ended up depressed and holding myself back and getting trapped in analysis paralysis. Lock it away. Follow your heart, follow your dreams. Start with a small step to build that momentum and to build that faith, to get the feedback from the world. But be who you are, not who the small, fearful, logical, rational mind tells you that you have to be. I love you for this, and I look forward to our next conversation.